Alright, here we got Mike. I think the third lesson in over several months. So, real nice extension. Your body position is good, breathing position is good. Might be a little bit of a delay, or there is a slight pause or delay at the beginning of that stroke. So like right there is just that little pause. More so with your right arm than your left. So your left is doing a pretty good job of extending and then starting the stroke. That's a real minor thing, but it would add up over time, especially when you go into longer racing. Rotation looks good. Your hips might be just a little low, but you're moving through the water fast enough for it not to really matter, if that makes sense. And it looks like with some of the strokes you may be finishing just slightly early. But all in all, you know, from a above water standpoint, things look pretty good. Now, granted, that was at an easier pace, than this one is at a faster pace. And when you swim at a faster pace, you have very little pause, if any. So it's a matter of effort levels as well. This looks good. Still finishing some of the strokes just slightly early, but everything else I would have to give pretty good marks to. Just about everybody I work with probably could do a little bit better with that forward reach, but that's more of a flexibility and range of motion thing than any lack of technique here. So if you can keep working on shoulder flexibility, lat flexibility, that'll help your ability to really reach forward. And then here, you look for any sort of alignment issues. You could probably do a little more rotation, but like I always talk about, the rotation is a result of your forward extension. You don't want to rotate just for rotation's sake. And by your forward extension reaching forward really well, it'll improve your streamline. So you present less surface area to the water when you're at that sort of reaching as far forward as possible at that apex of the stroke, basically. But your hips and legs are staying in the same line as your upper body. You can see that, and the point you're reaching to is really good here. You're reaching in front of your shoulders, so very good. This is just a faster effort. See how when you turn to breathe, your shoulders come up a little higher as you finish? That's what you want to do with almost every stroke. So that finishing, and that'll help you finish the stroke as well. So you want that hand to push all the way through. The finishing shoulder comes out of the water quite a bit. Forward shoulder reaches forward very well. So, you're getting a pretty good catch at the beginning, and then there's some elbow slippage going on. So we talked about that quite a bit. So that left one is doing like you saw there, that was a pretty good catch. So it's funny how it works, but it looks like you're slipping more on the right than the left. And the thing with your right arm is you are getting it at the beginning, and then it just slips through about midway. The kick looks good, and body position is good. So forget what I said about your hips being too low. That's not the case. And here you really were like overemphasizing it, I believe. So you can see what it looks like when you're really working on it. So a lot of one arm drill. Keep working on that. When you do one arm drill, make sure you sort of rotate all the way forward so that you're sort of square right at the beginning of the pull. And then the line you're pulling through, those are both good. So a little asymmetrical, a little wider on your left arm, and a little closer to your body on your right arm. That's all right. It's difficult to get a perfectly matching stroke on both sides. So yeah, you're looking pretty good. So freeze frames or still shots, good extension, pretty good rotation on that right side. You start the catch, so it's a good start here. Elbow coming back a little bit, and then you can see the elbow came back before the hand and forearm really went vertical. So that's the tricky technical part with that right arm. And then left arm is really doing a much better high elbow catch. So good extension, good rotation. Maybe maybe one frame too many on a glide there, but that's we could argue that back and forth. And then you can see this is a really good catch there. So that's very good. You want your hand and forearm to be in one line, but really pretty good. Yeah, so keep working on it. One arm drill, doggy paddle, some stroke maker paddles at this point you could use for strength.